These celebrity scenarios may not seem plausible, yet there's evidence to back up the theories. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 celebrity suicide conspiracy theories. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at the most popular conspiracies about alleged celebrity suicides.
Like if you were to line up to anybody in the room, he would be one of the last guys in the world you'd ever see something like this coming out of Chris Benoit.
Number 10. The Illuminati killed Robin Williams.
The breaking news just into CNN is that actor Robin Williams is dead at the age of 63 from an apparent suicide.
Throughout his 63 years, Robin Williams' unpredictability led to success in both comedic and dramatic productions.
You know, she used to fart in her sleep.
But he truly shocked the entertainment industry in 2014 when he ended his own life by hanging. Williams suffered from the onset of Lewy body dementia, and that disease affected his fateful decision. But some people also blame the Illuminati, claiming the infamous and maybe non-existent organization used a popular comedy series to promote their celebrity sacrifice. During the half hour before Williams' death went public, a Family Guy episode aired on BBC Three, in which Robin Williams plays a role in Peter Griffin's attempted suicide.
Damn these hands! Mwah! Well, I haven't been to temple in a while.
Yes, it was a repeat episode, but the people of the internet found the coincidence rather strange. Number 9. Hunter S. Thompson was murdered as a 9/11 cover-up. If you're familiar with the gonzo journalism of Hunter S. Thompson, then you know that he was truly his own man.
Was Kennedy's murdered by mutants?
He was also known to occasionally cause some trouble, and after the 9/11 attacks, Thompson accused the American government of having been somehow involved and of covering up the truth.
If you don't go with the flow, you're anti-American and therefore a suspect.
In 2005, he allegedly took his own life. But given his outspoken ways, some believe that Uncle Sam may have actually pulled the trigger. However, just as Thompson couldn't prove any of his conspiracy theories about the Twin Towers, nobody's been able to prove the government's direct involvement with his death. What we do know is this: Hunter S. Thompson's ashes were blasted from a cannon into the sky. Number 8. The Clintons killed Vince Foster. Perhaps Vince Foster isn't a well-known figure of pop culture, but he stepped into the spotlight during Bill Clinton's presidency. The Arkansas native worked as a deputy White House counsel for his childhood friend, and he was ultimately connected to the scandalous Whitewater investigation of the early 90s. Suffering from depression, Foster shot himself in 1993, but some insisted he was murdered by the Clintons for what he knew about them. The so-called Arkansas Project mostly perpetuated this conspiracy, but subsequent investigations determined that Foster did, in fact, take his own life. Still, when politics are involved, there are no easy answers, and some even believe the Clintons killed the Clinton-hating and Holocaust-questioning author Victor Thorne, too. Number 7. Avril Lavigne committed suicide in 2003. Back in 2002, a Canadian teenager made her mark with a punk-inspired debut. Today, Avril Lavigne has evolved into a pop culture icon, even if she apparently took her own life years ago. It all began with a blog named Avril Está Morta, which takes a close look at modern Avril and the Avril of 2002. One could argue that perhaps the singer's just changed a bit over the years, even if some cryptic song lyrics supposedly indicate otherwise.
Don't leave me hanging in a city so dead.
Ironically, the original blog wasn't even being serious about Lavigne. It was just showing how easy it is to concoct a conspiracy theory. But it was so effective that this theory has taken on a life of its own.
So much for my happy ending.
Number 6. Elliott Smith was murdered by his girlfriend. The brilliant singer-songwriter Elliott Smith committed suicide in 2003 at only 34 years of age. But given the cause of his death, 2 stab wounds to the chest, his death seemed more than suspicious to fans. Smith allegedly killed himself after an argument with girlfriend Jennifer Chiba, who says she was in the other room when the singer made his fateful decision. When she found him, she reportedly pulled the knife from Smith's chest. The whys and hows are suspicious, and toxicology reports showed that Smith was not under the influence. He just stabbed himself with no hesitation marks visible. So his girlfriend has unsurprisingly become part of the conspiracy, as some fail to accept that a sober Elliott Smith would kill himself.
Do you miss me? Misery.
Number 5. Kung Fu assassins killed David Carradine. Autoerotic asphyxiation is a dangerous way to experience sexual pleasure through cutting off one's oxygen. When David Carradine's lifeless hanged body was found in 2009, some believed the late actor had accidentally killed himself, while others believed it was an intentional suicide. Whatever the case, Carradine died at 72 years of age. The next year, his ex-wife Marina Anderson published a book claiming that Carradine had actually been murdered. This supports the family lawyer's initial position, a popular conspiracy theory that Kung Fu assassins had murdered Carradine, as he was apparently planning to reveal information about the underworld in Thailand. The fact that Carradine's hands were bound at the time of his death further fueled conspiracy theorists. Number 4. Kevin Sullivan killed Chris Benoit and his family.
Benoit apparently strangled his wife Nancy and suffocated their 7-year-old son Daniel, and then hanged himself.
Professional wrestlers have long been linked to conspiracies, especially considering their line of work and the sport's history of strange deaths. In 2007, Canadian superstar Chris Benoit's name was in the headlines, as he'd allegedly killed both his wife and son before taking his own life. Many have theorized that perhaps brain damage influenced Benoit's crime, while many others have pointed a finger at the wrestler Kevin Sullivan. And it's not that wild a theory, as Sullivan's ex-wife Nancy actually left him for Benoit. This happened after Sullivan created a wrestling narrative in which his wife would leave him for the character Chris Benoit. It's a case of fiction imitating life, but with a tragic and suspicious ending. Number 3. Hitler survived.
Mein Führer, ich flehe Sie an, verlassen Sie Berlin. Noch ist es nicht zu spät.
Responsible for the systematic murder of millions, Adolf Hitler allegedly met his maker via his own hand. For the history books, this makes perfect sense, but some theorize that Hitler could have found a way out of Germany. This is the focal topic of the History Channel series Hunting Hitler, in which reputable names examine various theories about Hitler's alleged life beyond World War II.
If you look at that pattern, it's clearly Argentina where we have to start.
After all, no body was ever found, and public manipulation long predates the internet. In other words, it's plausible that people with considerable power could have hidden the actual truth. And if there was ever a man that needed to fully distance himself from the public eye, it was Adolf Hitler. Number 2. The Kennedys killed Marilyn Monroe.
I want to warn all you girls and women of New York about an evil, dangerous, perfectly dreadful married man.
Marilyn Monroe was far more than just an actress. She evolved into a living legend, and part of that legend includes her supposed romantic link to John F. Kennedy.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
But at only 36 years of age, an allegedly despondent Marilyn overdosed on barbiturates, thus becoming yet another mythical figure from the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. It's certainly believable that Monroe could have taken her own life, and there was no direct evidence of foul play. However, the early 60s were a turbulent time, and public knowledge of her affair with the president could have proven disastrous.
There's a series of tunnels. JFK used them to sneak Marilyn in.
I thought that was a myth.
So if Marilyn did manage to upset Camelot, well, they had more than enough power to help clean up their dirty work, so to speak. Number 1. Kurt Cobain was murdered. Back in 1994, Kurt Cobain consistently made headlines, even if that wasn't his primary goal as lead singer of Nirvana. Of course, his wife Courtney Love had a unique relationship with the media too, but they seemed to be living the life, despite their perceived flaws. So Cobain's shocking suicide not only stunned the music world, it also led many to question the official account.
Do you blame yourself?
For years, people have speculated that love played a role, one way or another. And the 2015 documentary Soaked in Bleach lays out a solid case that Cobain could not have shot himself given the amount of heroin in his system. So who killed Kurt Cobain?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.